Last week in Minnesota, the Thunderbirds pulled off a win against the wind chill that Evan Lepler said shocked the UFA. If you want to see a shocking win, though, stay with us tonight because the Detroit Mechanix are in town and they're lugging with them their 76-game losing streak. Nobody wants to be the team to break that streak, and the Thunderbirds have that opportunity tonight. They've also got an opportunity to start something big. Everybody, welcome to Highmark Stadium. I'm Matt Weiss, the play-by-play voice of the Thunderbirds, joined tonight by my friend David Vatz, the Thunderbirds legend, old number 4, who will be on the color commentary. We thank you for joining us live and online at watchufa.tv. David wasn't optimal, but was good enough. And we talked a little bit about when you play that very basic offense, you can get a defensive. Oh, this one's unleashed deep. Graber's maybe got the best angle on it, but making a brilliant layout grab for the goal is Carson Chamberlain. I thought Graber had the angle, and he did, but that was before Carson Chamberlain went airborne and pulled this one out of the air for the first goal. No, unless you call a second throw huck. And this one into a poach. Smart play on defense by Ryan Smith. He sniffs out that John Mass. Gaither knocking on the door, just about 10-15 out. Rudy's got space, throws a fake, marked by Mast. Got to get it off that corner, sends it up to Smith. He actually does a little wheel route behind him.
Yeah, gorgeous day, no wind, nothing that should be affecting the players right now in terms of their ability to execute offensively.
Right, here we've got Max Shepard going deep. He's got Beauregard behind him. A beautiful shot from Anson Repperman, who's more often on the other end of those. Back in the end zone is Logan Call, getting a little chance to be on the offensive team. He's in the back of the end zone right now. Can he get it before Davis does? And he does! Another sky by Logan Call. And in the back of the end zone, you can see Ryan Smith.
Point right here really shows the benefit of winning those end of quarter scenarios. Now, despite not playing their best quarter,
Treehouse decides to air this one right out to Jimmy Toll, and it's another in-rhythm huck, and it is on the money. This kid can throw, Kloss nowhere near him. Detroit back on offense. And a beautiful block by Andrew Thompson. Malachi Marshall looking to pick it up, walks away, picks it up, and right to number 12 for the Thunderbirds. Zach Burns making his... The Mechanix defense on them immediately. Repperman coming in for Selleck, and he's got McMonigal working downfield. McMonigal catches it, and he's got to look. Looks like Treehouse got to get there quickly, and he can maybe follow it up. No, it's going to go out of bounds, and another block for Chamberlain. And
probably call the timeout, even though your offensive line might be tired.
Marshall's going to pull the trigger on this one. Vukovic, he's got number 13 back there with him, Kloss, but it's perfectly placed, and a little bit of a foul for good measure.
Well, shows what I know there, right as I say that they should have called the timeout.
Now Shanahan has it. Shanahan doing a lot of work for these guys. Hill pulls it down. Marshall joins him. Very effectively double team. Now going up the line is Felton, getting away from Mallard, who just isn't doing the job on those reset defenses. And this one's going to find Chamberlain, who gets airborne and pulls another one down. Boy, that kid is working hard, and you can see him there. Hopefully not hurt, just tired. Covered closely on the reset with Shanahan. This one just behind Felton, but Felton pulls it in front of Newell. Moreno starting a move, but this one's sent across the field. This is the kind of play that Graber makes. Hold on, and he does it again! And he signals, no good!
Really good job by him.
That diving silhouette is sort of how I think of him. He is, of course, a track athlete, a jumper at Grove City College. And you can see why. Charlie Vukovic doesn't hesitate to send it to Graber. Quignon, can he victimize him on this end of the field too? Jumps up, times it, comes down just a step out of the end zone, puts it down, and looking for a reset, sends it to Pete Zaccardi, who saves it, and then he whips out this inside out that Connor Newell catches on a wheel route from behind him. That's who I think is the new defender. And as you said, we're under 10 seconds, and it's a hammer into the back. Logan Call's probably in the best position, except for the guy who pulls the thing down. So somehow or other, they managed to sneak one over the Thunderbirds. The Thunderbirds were cycling very well. Their clearing cuts were making space for their in cuts. And here's a hammer that Felton unleashes, and boy, oh boy, it's on a rope. You can't throw it much better than that. And Brendan Gessner gathers it in. Those are two of the guys.
Yeah, and I want to point out another thing there. You saw Captain Jimmy Toole, again, getting the D there.
Felton sends one deep. Graper in pursuit. Probably doesn't have time to catch up to this one, and he doesn't. Really nice throw from Jake Felton. Finds Marco Dewey in the back of the end zone, so quicker than you can say 15-12, it's 15-13.
Right, and,
Mast puts one on a rope deep. Can McMonagle catch up with it? He can. And the handlers put it in motion. There it goes up the line in a power position is Felton. And now he throws one across the field. Call is there, but guess Vukovic signaling for it. But by then, Newell had turned around. Instead, Dillard gets it to him. He sends one up on a line, and this one could be followed up by, my goodness, Max Devine. I think that's who made that play, and wow, he was opportunistic. That was a laser that was sent out there. It was blocked, but that can often bounce off. Big lineup that's headed down there. Max Devine, Carl Johnson, Vukovic is in the end zone too. There's Call. Now the clock will start. Driehaus with that big forehand. It's got some edge on it. Johnson's lining it up, and who pulls it down? Looks like that's number 13, Charlie Vukovic, an emerging star for these Thunderbirds. So puts a special kind of pressure on their opponents. John Mast has got a lot of room to send it out to Anil Driehaus. What does Driehaus have downfield? He's got Johnson. He's got Toll sprinting into space. Toll alone against Gaither. Perfectly placed throw. Felton really showing us some prowess as a handler. Zaccardi going to try to return the favor. Logan Cole, Kevin Nickel, who's going to get it? It's Kevin Nickel comes down with it. Logan Cole,
who is likely going to be out tomorrow. You need to think about, I think, protecting some of those guys that you need to come up big for you tomorrow.
Marshall sees Graber on the backside, and Graber goes over Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith had that one lined up. Graber said, no, I'll take that. A couple of big guys downfield. Maybe Repperman will try to just float one up for Johnson, and he does. Let's see if this one's even going to stay in play, and it won't. On the back line, falls harmlessly to the turf. Zeros on the clock. The game is over. So, after an initial stumble and a surge by a scrappy Detroit Mechanix team, the Thunderbirds will walk out of Highmark Stadium with the first win of a weekend doubleheader. They are now 2-2. It is 27-18, favor of them, the final score, and they are on their way to play the Rush in Toronto.